Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another boutique label battle series where I try and justify my double dipping of Blu-ray titles by just showing you the differences between the releases. Today I'm going to talk about a film that's very dear to me, a filmmaker that's very dear to me, and a filmmaker that deserves a lot more Blu-rays, and hopefully there'll be more Blu-rays from his films coming soon. It is John Sayles, and the film is Matewan, his wonderful 1987 film, which is one of the great neglected American films of the 80s, along with the Ballad of Gregorio Cortez. This is about a piece of American history that isn't really taught, about West Virginia miners and their struggle to form a union. Yep, it's another hilarious sounding John Sayles synopsis, but this is a film that's absolutely magnificent. This was a step up for Sayles as far as production values. It was his most expensive film to date. Granted, it was still only about $4 million. Shot by Haxel Wexler. Looks like old photographs. A brilliant cast. Mary McDonnell and Chris Cooper and James Earl Jones and David Strathairn. Music by Mason Daring, who does most of the music in John Sayles films. It's just full of class and dignity. It's just such a great film, and I was almost brought to tears when it was announced that Criterion were releasing it on Blu-ray. This is a Region A Criterion, and it's spine number 999. Now, very much like the Parallax View, Matewan was a film that I was hoping to get a Blu-ray release, and then within about 18 months with 2 Blu-ray releases. So very recently, 88 films in the UK released Matewan. So, I mean, this series isn't solely going to be Criterion versus another label. It just seems to be, there's quite a lot of Criterion versus another label. So I'll start with the Criterion, seeing it was first. Like I say, this is a Region A release. Hopefully it'll get a Region B release, but I'm not sure it will. So first of all, both these editions have a 4K restoration supervised by Sayles himself. So it's both the same print. So again, if you're region locked, either A or B, it's good that you actually have a release and the picture quality is exactly the same. It's the same print. The Criterion has an audio commentary from 2013 with Sayles and Haskell Wexler, which is absolutely fantastic, because amongst as well as John Sayles being, for me, the greatest American writer-director of the last 40 years, he's also one of the best people to listen to on a commentary, because he tells you about storytelling, he tells you about how to make a low-budget film. I recently got the Scream Factory steelbook of Battle Beyond the Stars, and there's a wonderful commentary with Sayles and Roger Corman that's just absolutely fantastic. You can listen to it all day long. This has 2 new documentaries on the making of the film featuring Sayles, producer Maggie Renzi, production designer Nora Chavuzian, and actors Chris Cooper, James Earl Jones, Mary McDonnell, Will Oldham and David Strathairn. There's a new interview with Mason Daring, and there's a short documentary on the impact that Matewan's production had on West Virginia, because again, at the time, West Virginia had no film kind of department, or they basically helped the locations using a woman in the tourist board. Because John Sayles does like involving the community in his filmmaking, so whenever they make a film, it always helps to have people helping out on the technical side, and he usually employs people in the local community. So that's a wonderful little piece. And there's also a new programme in the film's production design featuring Shavuzian. There's also a trailer, and obviously it's Criterion, so you do get a nice booklet with an essay. Again, this release of Matewan made me cry like a small child. So then we have the 88 Films release. Now, this is maybe a little bit of an unusual film for 88 Films, who kind of specialise in, they've got a slasher collection, they've got the Italian collection, they've got the Vault, they do kind of 80s horror films, martial arts films, and the Asia collection. So it's perhaps a little bit of a strange title, not that I'm complaining, for 88 Films to use. So this one has a slipcover with only one hole, very much like the imprint slipcovers. It has alternate artwork. This was the artwork that I had on a very bad print DVD that I had for years. 88 Films, I'm guessing this is just going to be the first run, but they have a booklet as well, and it's actually a rather nice little booklet with pictures from the production. It's actually a really nice little photo booklet, and it also has an essay as well. The Old West Out East, Matewan and genre. So that was a nice little surprise, the fact that the 88 Films release has a little booklet of its own. And again, there's artwork and the inside of the film as well. There's James Earl Jones as Few Clothes running for the train. And of course, when they were casting the film, they were going, "Do you think we could get James Earl Jones?" And it's like, "No, we can't get James Earl Jones. He's Darth Vader, and we're going to get James Earl Jones." And they eventually just went, "You know what, let's try and get James Earl Jones." And James Earl Jones said yes. So like I said, this has got the same 4K restoration approved by Sayles himself. And I was actually surprised with the extras on the 88 Films. I thought they would maybe just be ported over from the Criterion, but no, these are brand new extras from 2022. We have Company Man, remembering Matewan, an interview with actor Kevin Tai, who plays one of the company heavies, who some people might think himself and Gordon Clapp perhaps, are practically twirling their moustaches. They're practically almost cartoon villains. But Sayles does say in his commentary he actually toned those characters down, because the real company men who are trying to smash the union would do things like put gasoline into the milk supply for the children. So he actually made them not as bad as they actually were in reality. This is Union Jews producing Matewan. It's an interview with Maggie Renzi. Now all these interviews are audio, but there's clips from the film and production stills. There's Gathering Storm composing Matewan, an interview with composer Mason Daring, who, if you don't know, originally started as the lawyer for John Sayles in his early films, Return of the Secaucus 7, but then he didn't really want to do law, and because he had been a musician since he was a kid, he actually gravitated and ended up doing the music for lots of John Sayles films. And he talks about how he got the music for the the local place, the West Virginia, and again with the Italian community and the African American community coming in as scab workers, and how the music changes, which is wonderful. And then there's Fire in the Hole, Designing Matewan, an interview with Nora Chavuzian, and there's also a theatrical trailer. So if you're Region B locked, and you want to see the film, if you like the film, then this 88 Films release is fantastic, and it's actually, there's a lot more in the extras than I thought there would be. So that one is well worth checking out. Again, I know I'm biased towards John Sayles, but I would urge everybody to buy both of these editions, and so these companies are convinced that they should release more John Sayles. I mean, there is a rumour that Maggie Renzi kind of stated at a film festival, I think, that the Criterion Collection are working on Lone Star. So hopefully that means Lone Star might get a Blu-ray release, but obviously Men with Guns, Limbo, Sunshine State, Passion Fish, City of Hope, The Brother from Another Planet, they could all do Men with Guns. Did I say Men with Guns? I'll say it again because it's such a great film. Men with Guns should get a Blu-ray release as well. But this was a tremendous start. Brings a tear to a glass eye. So out of these two editions, again, if you're region locked, it's good that you do actually have an edition for your region. And as surprisingly good as the 88 Films release as far as the extras, I do have to give Criterion the winner in this boutique label battle, just because the documentaries are a little better in depth, the actors are on camera, but also it's the commentary with Sayles and Wexler, because even if you don't like the film, that commentary about how to light stuff on a very small budget, how to make a film on a very small budget, it's just absolutely wonderful. It's got so much knowledge in how to make a low budget film. I mean, Matewan looks a lot more than it actually cost, and it's one of Sayles' finest works, and like I say, it's one of the most underrated great American films of the 80s. So for this boutique label battle, I'd probably give the nod to the Criterion edition, but certainly if you're region locked to region B, I would highly recommend you pick up the 88 Films edition of Matewan, because it's also pretty damn wonderful. So thanks very much for watching another boutique label battle as I attempt to rationalise my buying of multiple Blu-ray editions of films under the guise of public information and advice. So thanks very much for watching, appreciate the support, and hopefully join me again for more videos in the future. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying cheerio.